Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and a happy new year. And welcome, it's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. I hope Father Christmas brought you everything you wished, and maybe some things you didn't even wish for. Nice things, obviously. I hope you've had a lovely festive period. Maybe one or two of you have got a bit of a hangover, because I think this is released on New Year's Day, I think. So no doubt I'll have a shocking one as well, because I've got some plans on New Year's Eve. It's not even Christmas yet, actually, when I'm recording this, but as you know, I do them in advance. Excuse me. So it seems a bit odd wishing you all a Happy New Year when it's not even Christmas yet here, but you get the gist of it. Now, this lady came to see me with two ears, as most people do, and they were both incredibly different. For different reasons. It's a very good example, this, of what happens when you put a lot of oil in one ear and you don't put any oil in the other ear. So I don't know if you got to glimpse them as I started chatting, or you got distracted. It does happen. This one is really wet. It's really wet. So she'd felt this. She's a hearing aid user. She could barely hear a thing at all. The hearing aids weren't working at all with this in. Wasn't a huge amount in, but what she'd done, she'd oiled this to within an inch of its life, and I think what had happened, she'd probably overdone it a little bit. And you can see that, not this bit I'm getting out here, but there's a bit really deep down that's kind of fallen down onto the eardrum, which can happen sometimes. You put a load of oil in there and you tilt your head up and you stay there for too long, it can just soften it, then it can just slip all the way down and sit on the eardrum. And I think that's what's happened here, because a good example of what it would have looked like before is the other ear. So I suspect that looked very similar, but that was dry as a bone. Good bit of peeling involved in that, if any of you guys like peels, which I know quite a few of you do. This was a bit tricky though, this bit down here. We don't get every little speck of this down here. I mean, most of it is just like an oily residue. It's not something that's going to affect your hearing. But this bit here, we definitely need to get rid of. So I've gone in there with the fine tube and just holding onto it really gently and trying to pull it up really slowly, hoping that it all comes up in one go. As you can probably already see, it didn't. But it pulled it from a eardrum and probably a little bit around the bends down there as well. So again, majority of that's gone. Just a little bit at the bottom of the ear canal. You're probably wondering, those hairs there, you saw a few more of them in the other clips. How do they get in there? Where are they from? They're actually from a head, believe it or not. So that, like I said, that's the majority of that gone. It's just a bit of slimy, oily stuff on the eardrum. It's absolutely insignificant at all. But yeah, sometimes, depending on if someone's got a particular haircut. Now this lady's hair was only about that long, kind of all over, and it was really difficult to try and tuck it behind the ear, which it just does what it wants, you know. Not a problem I have, as you can probably tell. So most people do try and tuck it behind the ear. I even have bobbles and clips that people can, some of the ladies or the men with the long hair can fasten it back with, because it just gets in the way. But when it's really short, and that short that it doesn't stay behind the ear, it's kind of all over it, it's really hard to put the suction tube in the ear without a bit of that hair flying into it and then like following the suction tube down into the ear. So that's what a lot of that is. There's a bit on the ear as well, which are not ear hairs, it's hair hairs from the head. So again, you can see the difference with this one. This is probably what the other one would have looked like before she absolutely drowned it in oil, and that's why it's not very deep. It's got lateral, nearly outside of the ear. A little bit stubborn that first little bit, so we got that away. Second bit easier, and I don't normally get involved in a skin peel if I can avoid it. It's not always strictly necessary. If it's a big thick layer, then yeah, a little thin layer, not going to make too much difference. But I'm not, what's he saying, not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. What happened here, again, gone down to the fine tube here, is there was bits of it sticking up. So I thought we'll get them, and if it peels all the way down and it's fairly straightforward, then by all means go with it, you know, which is what we did here. Not going to make too much difference at all to a hearing. but you get to see a nice pink, clean, shiny ear canal afterwards. I think did get a little bit squeaky at this point, so I think I'll leave that one in a second, then go back to the other side, because what's happening is it's not pulled it off as of yet. What you can't see inside the tube is there's a string of that skin that's actually still in the tube. So the suction power is slightly less, so I'll just leave that there for a second. And if I get the other bit on the left hand side of it there, we'll try and get it to meet in the middle, and then hopefully it'll go all the way down, which it did. But it is sometimes worth getting little bits like this. I know I said I don't often get involved in a skin peel, but particularly this area here, I mean, it's fine because you can see underneath it there. It's not unheard of to find a few little problems down there at the base of the canal there. So it is worth being curious sometimes, just having a look underneath that, make sure there's nothing going on that shouldn't be there. So as you can see, it's peeled away really nicely all the way down. I'm trying to drag it across to get that other part there in the tube, because I think it'll come away a bit better if it does that. Turns out it came away quite well anyway. Didn't leave much behind either. So let's just gently tease that out. So you can see there, lovely, sparkly clean ear canal, apart from this one little flake there, which I wasn't going to remove, but it bugged me a little bit, so I thought, let's just get that. I've come this far, so I might as well finish it off. There we go, second time lucky, see if we can get it this time. Little peel and up it pops. No wax babies safely delivered, but a few little wax babies suctioned out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, but for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.